Hi, my name's Callum Morton. I'm a visual artist. I work across a range of media with my practice, from outdoor public sculptures to immersive installation environments down to very small objects and prints and drawings. Architecture is an important element in the work. It's not architecture, it's the image of architecture mostly. I began by studying architecture, and indeed my father is an architect, but I was always particularly enamoured with the idea of being an artist, perhaps the romance of being an artist. Because my work's not really tied to one particular media, I tend to work out of a series of ideas, if you like. So I'm very interested in public and private space. I'm interested in the relationship between the local and the global. I'm interested in the relationship between the model and the real, between illusion and reality. So in a sense, all the work oscillates around those ideas. We're now at Heide Museum of Modern Art, and the building behind me is one of the great examples of modernist architecture in Australia. It's a museum now, but 30 years ago it was the home to John and Sunday Reid, who were great lovers of the arts. The Reids always intended to live in this house, but they also hoped that in the future that it would become a museum for their collection. This building is modernist, but it's a very particular form of modernism. The choice of materials, the Mount Gambier limestone and the types of timber, were designed to blend into the landscape and be more organic, if you like. Initially this would contrast with the landscape, but over time, through decay and becoming a ruin, it would blend in with the grander project here at Heide, which is in fact the construction of a landscape. The ruin in the landscape is a very romantic idea, and indeed all the Heide artists were fueled by a type of romanticism. Joy Hester, Sidney Nolan, Albert Tucker, all privileged imagination over science, and indeed this building would become a legacy to that romanticism. The work for Heide too, Ghost Train, is a part of this series of prints that I've been doing. I build the specific piece of architecture, in this case Heide 2, on the computer very accurately, and then I marry that with things that I find in the research around that building, and in a sense I kind of lay that history intuitively over the surface of this building. So in the case of Heide 2, I was interested in the idea of Heide as a kind of ghost world with a very fraught emotional history and relationship between John and Sunday Reid and the artists around it. And so I tapped into that a bit. And the link also was to some of the artists had used images of Luna Park or carnival images. And I merged it with a large eye, which was a significant feature in Joy Hester's art. The large kind of bloodshot eye. So I keep throwing things in there. The build the little trains from Luna Park. So I research those carriages and build them. And then once it's all built as a wireframe, so that's what you're doing initially, you then take that into a rendering program. You drop in trees and you put the textures and the, material forces of the world on top of it. So when you're working on your own projects, I think some of the things to remember are, particularly if you're dealing with the image of the school, are, first of all, in my terms, what is the most recognisable image of that school? Because do you want people to come in and know that you've done something strange to the school? Or do you want it to disappear altogether inside whatever you're going to do? So I would think about how you're going to frame or what view of that world you're going to choose to use. For me, the type of architecture is important, and I like to research the style of that architecture. That might be interesting, but it might be some sort of personal image or personal memory or personal idea of the school that you're interested in. So you could choose a specific part of the school that you like spatially. That might be a hall or a particular room that for some reason or another you just like it, the way it feels. You might have some idea of what art is now, but art is an expanded world with many different approaches and many different people from many different worlds working within it. So keep it open.